Howdy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. And yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. So, Henry Danger the movie, that's
Hmm.
wild. This show has been on for so long, and now it's a movie. You've grown up in this show. What has that experience been like for you? And now you have a movie to add to it.
In terms of growing up, it has been quite the experience. I mean, I feel really, really old because, I think back of like my childhood effectively was Henry Danger. So I like my good old days already are happening. And I'm like, oh, back when we did, season two or season three. And I think I was like, I don't know, I had to be, I don't know, 15, 14, maybe 16. So it's just like you look back at that and I'm like, how am I already like trying to relive those glory days? Now, so it was quite an interesting experience. And I know sometimes it could be like a little like weird for like kids to kind of grow up on a show, but I think it was also really nice to kind of have like we're kind of like a family, so we all kind of grew up together, and we had kind of like our parents, like obviously Cooper kind of being our dad.
Right.
So it was it was a great experience, and it was very fun, and I'm glad that everybody also kind of went out of their way to still make sure that we had kind of like a childhood experience, like a working childhood experience, but still a fun time.
Honestly, I think at the heart of this movie, outside of the superheroing, is the friendship aspect and how those grow and change as you get older. Because you've grown up with your main castmates, and obviously we've just all grown up. Like, did you find yourself relating to Jasper and Henry's dynamic in this film?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely reflects relationships I've had, in the past, like even before shooting the movie. Like I've had friendships that have fallen out, sometimes permanently, unfortunately, sometimes briefly, and even in that brief moment, the friendship may rekindle or mend itself within weeks, months, sometimes it might be years. Sometimes you might come back a couple years later and be like, oh, hey, like, long time no see, how you doing, kind of stuff. So, I've definitely kind of lived that experience that Jasper was kind of going through, especially kind of feeling undervalued a little bit. So I've definitely related a little bit to that story, and I think that was definitely a conversation that was, it wasn't like a huge topic, but it was definitely a conversation that was had with the writers, and it was definitely, I didn't tell them to write that, but when they did kind of create that story, it was like, oh yeah, like I have a little bit of, I'm familiar with this kind of aspect because I've experienced it before, so was able to kind of pull some, I guess, some experience and kind of, add it to the performance, add it to the movie.
Right. Yeah, I think we've all been there as we get older. And you're right.
Yep.
Sometimes it's permanent, sometimes it's just for a season. And yeah, if it's meant to be, it'll be. But yeah,
Yep.
I love that Jasper, there's different versions of Jasper, I'll say, in this movie. And I'm a Marvel girl, so I'm like, he's a variant. It's like variants of
Yeah.
Jasper, and we got the different timelines in the multiverse. So was that fun for you being able to explore different aspects of his personality? And do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite? Well, I mean, I would have loved if we got to like done more variants, for sure. So I think like for me, it was probably like three main ones. It was obviously like the main original timeline. We had the Captain Stash stuff, and then we had the Apocalypse stuff. That to me was like the
Mhm.
three core. Um, I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, I mean, Captain Stash was a pain to do because it was just so much stuff going on. But that character was very fun because I almost got to emulate Cooper a little bit and kind of how he
Mhm.
does Captain Man. It's almost kind of like that overconfidence. And that was super super fun to kind of get to play that wackiness. Um, I like the apocalypse stuff. The apocalypse stuff was, I think, visually very cool. I thought that was
Mhm.
fun to do. But yeah, I'd say that Cactus Dash was probably my favorite, minus everything that was
Minus
going
the
on.
stash.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on.
It was a lot. It was just, it was there. So I love to ask this question whenever it's a superhero movie or a TV show. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why? But also, what does your costume look like? Like, are you team cape, team no cape? Are you wearing a mask? What are you doing? What's your fit look like?
Hmm. I mean, uh, I probably wouldn't do a cape. Probably wouldn't do that. Would probably do some form of jacket. I feel like that's like a really cool kind of staple. I
Okay.
feel like a lot of superhero suits don't really do that. I almost think there was a brief time, or it still kind of happens every now and then. It's kind of like Rogue from X-Men. She's always wearing a leather
I
jacket
love her. She's my
over
favorite.
that. So it's like that's very iconic because it's very different. She's got the superhero suit, but then she's got like her very just like normal leather jacket
Hmm.
on, which is very cool. Um, in terms of the power I would have, you know, everybody always says flight because you could go everywhere and stuff like that. Um, I'm thinking about it now because I'd probably pick something like that, maybe even shape shifting. That would be a fun thing to do. But, if you had a genius intellect, you could solve a lot of things. You could just build your own suit. You could do the whole Iron Man thing and be like, well, that does strength, that does flight, that does everything there. So if you
That's
just,
smart.
you just have intellect, you can basically do anything.
Okay, Professor X, I got it. And yeah, Edna Mode said no capes, so no capes. I like the
It's
jacket
true.
idea. It's very, like you said, rogue. It's like Star-Lord. It's very
Hmm.
cool. It's like
Yeah.
I'm the cool superhero. All right, my last question. It's just for fun. I saw you're an anime nerd. I'm also an anime nerd. So what are you
Yes.
watching right now?
Oh my gosh. I've been super, super busy because I've been like going around everywhere. So I haven't had a lot of time to watch anime. But I am waiting for the Devil May Cry series to come out. I think it may have came out. It may have. I'm not sure. I saw something about it
Tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay. That was definitely on my list. I was like, that for sure I want to see. Um I was going to watch it and then got busy. I was going to watch how do you say it? Dan to Dan? I wanted to see that just because
Yes.
I see memes and stuff like that for it, and I'm like, is
Yeah.
it a good show? I don't know. People just seem
It's
to be blowing up the feeds with it, so I'm
it's
definitely interested in
crazy.
that.
But seriously, thank you for your time. And
Hmm.
I'm excited for everybody to watch Henry Danger. I know the fans are going to
Oh
love
yeah.
it. And I like how it teases what could be next.
Oh
So
yeah.
maybe there'll
Maybe,
be another
maybe not.
movie or more series. We'll see.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.